here. Welcome back to another stream, another one. I don't know how much you can see, but in the background we have got boxes. So the process of starting to move has kind of just begun. So I'll show you here. Like there's a box here. It's just an empty box. It's gonna get filled up very soon with like CDs and stuff. Um, so just a quick little update before we get on to the stream. So I did a stream last week. I did one of these little vlog things last week, and broke the good news that I'm going to be moving properties again. Well, I found out a little bit more information, and I was able to go and have a view of the new flat today. So I had a brief look last week, but there was some workmen in. So I didn't really get to see the full potential of it, and everything was just kind of a little bit like it was sort of like new and exciting at the time. So I didn't really get to, everything was just in the moment. So it was nice to go back today and have a look at the place like when there wasn't, the workmen there. And I took my grandparents and they got to see it, and essentially, so what's happening is the flat has obviously been vacated, so it's empty. There isn't currently anybody living there, so the flat is mine. The flat is 100% mine, and essentially they just have to get basically like an all clear, that they can let it out to me, so like I can move in kind of thing. So there's been like workmen like checking the electrics, checking the gas, just making sure everything's like all right, and just essentially that the place is like safe for somebody to move into, because when someone moves out, you don't always know what kind of things you're gonna find. Like some tenants can leave flats in states, or for whatever reason, maybe there was an unknown like fault or something that was dodgy, that was maybe not highlighted and known about, that you would kind of think, right, well, we can't move somebody in while that is kind of happening. So as soon as they get the green light, when they get told, yeah, everything is fine, we're happy for somebody to move in, then they can give me the green light, they can give me a key, and essentially I can start moving in. So it's all good. It's very exciting. I've been shopping over the weekend, and I bought some things like toaster, kettle, so vacuum cleaner, microwave, so a few little bits and bobs. So that's a little bit of an update on the whole move process. So you'll see boxes in some of the sort of final streams here, if that makes sense. Anyway, welcome back to another one. The whole reason why I wanted to do this stream, and I wanted to do this for a little while now, is I wanted to talk about DJ Gammer, and I wanted to kind of give you my sort of opinions on why I think he's the best hardcore DJ of all hardcore DJs. And not only that, he is an absolutely wicked, cracking producer as well. So DJ Gamma has been a favourite of mine for many years when it comes to hardcore. Some of my favourite era of UK hardcore was the Dougal and Gamma tracks. They were so legendary, from Lose Me Forever to anybody else but you, Lifting Me Higher, to All the Tears I've Cried, to there's just absolutely When I Close My Eyes, absolutely loads of just amazing tracks that they've done. And then Gamma's done some absolutely wicked stuff on his own, going into some real just beefy drops, and just doing some different things in hardcore. But producing aside, and the tracks he's made aside, when Gamma actually gets behind a pair of decks, he is like a lethal weapon. And the only way I can describe DJ Gamma behind the decks is he is somebody who definitely utilizes the equipment to its potential. So, like when you go online and you watch these like house DJs, people like James Hype, and they do all these sort of like looping, and then they do, they drop acapellas in on the top of like other tunes, and they do like live mashups on the decks and stuff. Well, DJ Gammer is kind of like the hardcore version of that, but DJ Gammer just does some incredible things that really, for me, makes him so unique within the hardcore scene. So you've got your typical hardcore DJs, and they're like DJs who will kind of just like mix out at the end of one track into the next track, and you get a lot of DJs that will do that. And one thing that always stands out to me, especially within like DJing, whether it's bounce, drum and bass, house music, hardcore, is being a little bit different. And if you can try and do some different things within your sets to try and make you stand out, then I think you're on to a winner. And Gamma most probably had the same thought. And even people like Kutsky has even like wrote posts in the past, praising how good Gamma is behind a pair of decks. So why did I want to make this stream, and what kind of spiraled the idea of the stream? What kind of made me think, do you know what, I want to kind of talk about this. So a couple of weeks ago, I was sat in work, and I was a little bit kind of like, let's put some music on while I'm at work, and it was a Thursday, and usually on a Thursday it's just me in the sort of like youth music office. So it's not just me in the building, but in my little sort of like room in the office itself. I'm on my own usually on a Thursday. So anyway, cutting the story short, I was in work, and I put so went to YouTube to find some music, and this video came up, and it was a DJ Gamma, MC Obi, and he was live in Tokyo, and I think it must have been somewhere around about 2013. So it was sort of towards what I would say it was kind of like the end of DJ Gamma. So when DJ Gamma sort of transitioned from really being sort of like a HTID UK hardcore to kind of where he kind of like moved abroad, and kind of went across to like America, and sort of did all the like big EDM and sort of like dubsteppy stuff, while still doing a bit of hardcore, but kind of really pushing away from um, doing that sort of like HDID sort of style, and the essential platinum stuff. So anyway, I watched this video, and I really recommend that you give it a watch as well. So just type in DJ Gamma and MC Obi, and you'll get this like 47 minute long video showing footage of DJ Gamma and MC Obi doing a set in Japan, in Tokyo. And all I'm gonna say is the video blows me away. So if you really want to see Gamma at his potential, and like what he can really do behind the decks, then you need to give this video a watch. So DJ Gamma just blew me away, like with some of the things that he was doing behind the decks, and some of the like techniques he was doing, and some of the things he was doing behind the decks, just really made like the whole entire set kind of stand out. So DJ Gamma, and you can even tell in the video that he actually blew MC Obi away. You can kind of tell that MC Obi was just like, he was just kind of like, what the f am I witnessing here? Like, holy shit, kind of thing. And Gamma is just one hell of a bad boy when it comes to being behind the decks. So throughout the video, you'll see him doing a range of different techniques and different things that you just wouldn't normally expect to see. So, for starters, you've got him kind of like bringing in kind of like the next track at like different points. So, you know, he's not just mixing out from the end and mixing into the next track. He's kind of like so you've got like the breakdown of one track, and then essentially he'll start bringing in the next track, and then the two tracks. So like you've got the breakdown building up, and you've got this next track coming in, and then the two basses kind of double drop, and it just forms into this like. So you've kind of got like one track that's like building up and it's about to drop, but then you kind of play another track on top of that, and then you kind of have them. So you've got like the drop of one track, and then the bass comes in of the next track, like that hardcore bass, and it like double drops it, and it sounds really beefy, it sounds really energetic, it sounds really good, and then to top it all off, he's like going on to like the effects on the decks, and he's using like the roll effects, and he's putting all these like different sound effects and sound noises kind of over the tracks, and he's going up and down on the faders like so fast that you would think like, how has this guy like not broke the mixer, because he's just proper going for it, and that sort of blew me away anyway as it was. And then he would kind of like have one track, and then he'd like bring sort of like again the next track in sort of like on the breakdown, and then just as that first track's about to drop, he cuts into the next track, and then it goes into like just a really sick like twisted dubstep drop, and it sounds like really good, like because it just gets the timing so right. So it's almost as if like the next track was meant to be the drop of the first track, and then this proper like sick like dubstep drop comes in, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal, and really good. And then this is the bit what like really blew me away while I was watching this video. And bearing in mind, I was already blown away. I was already like just proper blown away by the skills that like what Gamma was doing in the set. And he brought this track in, and then he got a classic a cappella from Ultra Beat Show Feels Good, and he scratches the vocal on this breakdown of this track, and then he scratches it and he drops the vocal in, and then you've got this a cappella going over the top of this other track, and it sounds like a mashup, and it sounds absolutely wicked, and then it goes into these kind of like dubsteppy sounds, and you've got like the chorus of the track, and then the track builds up, and then just as the track's about to drop, like you know, you've got the build up and you're coming into the first drop. Gamma just does some wicked things where he starts like pitch bending and going up and down on the pitch with the vocal, and then he's going like up and down on the fader as well, and it makes like this almost like a you know, kind of like when you kind of get like a but he's going like up and down, and he's pitching up and down on this vocal, and it's going like and it's just doing these like wicked sound effects, and he's up and down on the fader. He's got one hand on the cross fader, like on one of the volume faders, and then he's got his other hand on the pitch control, and he's going up and down like that. And then to top it all off, he starts putting an effect on, which kind of almost like echoes the sound of the vocal, like pitching up and down. And then he starts scratching, and just starts doing this real like wicked scratching as well. Um, and then like just as you get to the kind of like the end of that the end of that first drop, he like kind of does this like where the vocal just goes like and then it was just wicked. And it wasn't just the sound that he'd created, but it was just how fast he was going, and how he had like one hand on the volume fader, and then he had another hand on the pitch control, and just how he was going up and down so fast, and how he was like keeping it in time with the music as well, so it sounded really good on the beat drop. And then just how he was like putting the effect on and scratching as well, like you know, he must have had to know that track down to a T. like to know like specifically like when to perform that maneuver, because it honestly it blew me away. And I remember watching it in work, and I just remember like like when it finished and when he'd done that little trick, I just remember thinking like, just like, you filthy bastard. Like I just thought like, like I thought, what the have I just witnessed here? And I even I posted the video straight into a group chat, and I just said, look, you've got to check this out. Like I just thought, this is crazy. And then I text my friend, I text the layman, and I said, look, I said, there is DJ Gammer, and then I showed him it. I showed him the video as well, and even he was like, that wicked how he's done that. It blew me away, and I've realised that that is like, not that I want to copy him, but that is like the kind of like the style of mixing that I want to kind of learn to do. Like, because I think like, yeah, you can play banging sets and you can play good well known tunes, but like that is just skills behind the decks. And um, like it's really utilizing the equipment you've got, like, because people like performing like loops and doing all these like scratching and vocal sort of drops, especially in like hardcore music. It's not a very, and even the same with bounce music, like you don't really hear it in kind of stuff like that. But when you come to like house music and drum and bass, people like James Hype, they're performing like live mashups and doing like loops, and they're using sort of like launch pads and things on live sets all the time. So you kind of, with like the modern house music, you're kind of used to that kind of what James Hype is doing. But like, to do it in hardcore, it's like it's not a well-known thing. So like, Gamma kind of doing that in hardcore was just kind of like, do you know what? Like you've really done something here, and that I just think is so like wicked and unique. And so many people, um, like at the time, like when he started doing this and he started like introducing like dubstep sounds into his kind of like hardcore sets, like a lot of people criticized him for it, and they said like, oh no, like this is, you're selling out on your original hardcore fans. um and the way he was doing it, like the whole idea behind doing it was like a really clever idea, because he realized that he could pitch up like dubstep tracks, and he could pitch up like breakbeat tunes, and he could make them go at the same speed as hardcore, and he could like drop them into his sets. But it was a way of getting like new people to kind of like follow him and kind of like get into hardcore, because if you just put kind of like boom 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 boom, and and you play it to people who are not necessarily hardcore fans, people aren't really necessarily like, oh, it's just too boom boom boomy for me, it's too heavy for me. But if you kind of can wheel them in, and you've got some like harder drops, and then you've got like dubstep drops, and you've got some sort of like well known that isn't just Breeze and Styles and Psy and Unknown all the time. Like it's a really good way. And like I say, a lot of people like die hard hardcore fans that followed him from day one, and they like Scott Brown and they like Psy and Unknown. And don't get me wrong, nothing against them. I absolutely love them. Hardcore is one of my all-time favorite genres of music. Don't get me wrong, but I do definitely think like you have to evolve with, if you want to stay relevant in the game, you have to evolve with like the music times. If you just oh, I want to be a DJ, and you just play the old Scott Brown tunes all the time, which don't get me wrong, there's people out there that are like that. And they, oh, we don't I don't like the new hardcore, and I don't like these hardcore tunes that go into dubstep drops. It's not proper hardcore. And unfortunately, like we're sort of at that era now where it's a younger crowd, it's a younger audience, so we have to adapt to the younger audience. And the younger audience, they like drum and bass drops, and they like dubstep drops, and they like things a little bit different, and as a way to mash it up and mash it in. It's a really good idea. And what DJ Gamma did in that set was just absolutely wicked. You know, he was on like hot cues, and he was like he set different hot cues at different points of a melody, and then it was like he was playing the melody live, and he was tapping the melody on his hot cues, and he was just doing some like really good stuff, and I just thought, you know what? This is why like he was rated like the world's number one hardcore DJ. His production's quality and his DJing is like just as good, like if not even better. Like don't get me wrong, like with Dougal and Gamma, they threw out some absolutely belting tunes that'll always be like favourites of mine. And he did some really good like solo stuff as well, like when he did stuff like Ripping and stuff on his Muffin music label. He did a remix of the Hypersonic, It Doesn't Matter, and that was also, in my opinion, it was actually better than the Squad E version. I just for some reason I just rated it more. And he's just done some like really good stuff. And not only that, like he would have like made like edits and done like different things in his tracks to obviously make his set sound even more better. But it was just one of them like where I just thought, you know what, you just nailed it, mate. You just absolutely nailed that set, and like I can't stop going back and watching it just because I want to watch what he's doing on the decks, and I want to see what he's doing on the decks, and not even necessarily just to listen to the music. It's just like the hand movements and like what buttons are you pressing there and how are you doing it, and he'll know the tracks down to a T, and he'll obviously like he'll know like what certain points to bring them in. He might even have like cue points set, so like when he knows when a cue point comes up, that's when he can start bringing the next track in, because he knows if he does that, it'll drop on the cue. But it's just amazing how he does it. He's absolutely wicked at scratching, and I think a lot of people, you know, who kind of slated it. Like I just think like how do you know what I mean? Like it just what he, and like I say, I think in that video he even blew Obi away. I don't think there was even a couple of times in the set where like Obi would go to say something on the mic and then he'd like drop in a vocal or he'd scratch something in. And then Obi would be like, "Oh no, no, we're not coming. I'm not coming in now." And I think it just sort of blew him away. And whoever he was playing to at the time, it was like a crowd of like Japanese people, and whoever else was there at the time. They were absolutely loving it, and they were singing all the words to the songs. So they were obviously like, kind of like hardcore fans, if you like. Absolutely amazing. Big shout to Ian John Wright. Big shout to Nana. What you're saying? So big respect going out to you. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to make people aware like of this video, because I just think like like people can go on like SoundCloud and they can listen to sets and stuff, and they can go on Spotify and they can listen to things, and they can put CDs and tapes on, but like this video was just like a really good indication, like like it's all right hearing like what Gamma can do on a set, but being able to physically watch it and just see like the hand movements, and just kind of like just see how he does it. I just kind of think like absolutely fantastic. And Andy Whip is kind of the same in Bounce. He'll bring tracks in at different points, and it just be a bit different. And I just thought, like, it's all right, like I say, being able to hear it, but when you can physically watch it and you can see what they're doing behind the decks, it makes it so much more fun, and it makes it like it's so much more like it makes you feel more blown away watching it, compared to just listening to it, because you're hearing all this like wicked cool stuff, like all the scratching and the double dropping, but you can see it as well, and you can see him doing it, and it's just I just thought, you know what, it's just amazing, like how he does it. I do not know, but he does it, and he did it really good, and I just wanted to make people, pardon, I wanted to make people aware I wanted to let people know that they can go and check it out because it's wicked. So just type in on YouTube DJ Gammer MCOB and check it out. You know, give it a watch, give it just a listen, even if it's not the whole thing. You know, if you're not a hardcore fan, you know, just give it a quick little listen. I mean, there's loads of like dubstep sounds in there. Another point in the set that I will point out, it goes into this like drop, and it like slows right down, and it almost kind of goes into like you know, like the song "We Will Rock You," and it's like do do ch do do ch. That kind of like that comes in, and then there's like a crowd in the background, and then he takes a melody from another track, and he slows it right down, and then he kind of like drops it on top, so it's going like do 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 do, and then he's slowly speeding both the tracks up. So it sounds like the melody's slowly getting faster, and it's slowly, and then it goes back to its original, like it goes back to its original sound, like speed, and then it goes in time just for the beat drop of that track. And I just thought it's almost like you've just made a remix like live on the decks, and it's just wicked. So yeah, DJ Gamma MCOB, go and check it out because it's absolutely wicked. So I wanted to come live. I wanted to show. I wanted to make people aware. And yeah, this is you know, as far as DJing goes, this is kind of like the James Hype, but like in UK hardcore. That is kind of the way I see it. Like you've just got people like Gamma doing stuff like that, and it's just absolutely wicked. So anyway, I am going to cut from the stream because my phone is getting low, and I've got some bits to sort through, and some little bits of packing to do. So, if you didn't see the stream the other day, and if you weren't here from the beginning, you know, if you missed the beginning, if you've just joined now, essentially I've got a new flat essentially, and it's really nice, by the way. Absolutely love it to pieces. It's so nice. It's so clean. It's so tidy. It's my own space, and I can't wait for it. And I'm in a really nice supported flat place as well, where we're going to be doing so many things. Like there's a little courtyard, and we're all going to kind of like decorate it, and then like have some barbecues in the summer and stuff. And they're really, you know, like the new social workers, like they can be nothing but, you know, nice, and they really want to kind of like get me involved, and they do things like, you know, go out for meals and stuff, and they kind of invite the staff along, not the staff, like the, you know, residents, like, oh, we're going for a meal, do you want to come, kind of thing. And oh yeah, you know, you can come along, kind of thing, and do loads of things. And even though I've not kind of like fully moved in yet, they've kind of been like, well, they said like, well, look, come and see us later this week, and you know, we'll go over and discuss some things, and then we'll arrange next week, and you know, you can come and join in on like an activity with us and stuff, whether it be like going for a meal or something. And I just thought, you know what, like, it's just nice. You need that kind of thing in your life, because it's just, you know, something not where they just put you in a place and kind of like, oh, we'll just check how you're doing, and that's it. Where these kind of feel like, to me, like they go almost like above and beyond. You know, and the fact that, you know, they're at the place every day, and they're in the office, and if you need them, like, you know, you can just knock and say, look, I'm having a bit of, you know, I'm having a bit of issues with this, or can you help me read this? You know, and I just think, you know, it's going to be absolutely wicked. But then not only that, like, you get your independence at the same time, so you get your own space. You know, you're kind of free to kind of, in that sense, kind of do as you please and do what you want, and you know, it's going to be absolutely wicked. So, let me guess, you play World of Warcraft, League of Legends. I don't actually. I don't really play video games, to be honest. To be honest with you, I've got a PS4, and I occasionally like jump on Grand Theft Auto. I occasionally play, like, I've been playing Mafia 2. That's I really love that game. It's one of my all-time favorite games. Is Mafia 2. So I play that all the, like, quite often. I'm going through the story mode again at the moment. Obviously, there is no online, but I'm playing the game through again. I played it a couple of years ago and I completed it. And then sadly, my PS4, it actually got nicked, the one I had at the time. And not too long back, I bought one off my friend, which was my original PS4. So I got my original PS4 back, and sadly, my old account that I used to use, my main account, I have no longer got the password for it, and I don't remember the email address that is associated to the password. So I can't get into the email address because I don't know the password for the Google account. And every time I try to reset the Google account password, it wants to send a code to like a tablet, like an Android tablet that I don't have anymore. Like, I haven't had it for years. Like, it broke. And like, unfortunately, like, I try other ways, and then it, like, they literally say, like, you just basically, we can't verify you. Please contact us by, like, ringing up on the phone, kind of thing, or like speaking to somebody online, like a little bot about the issue, like, to try and diagnose what the problem is. And I just thought, like, I just can't be asked to sit on hold for like 40 minutes to then end up speaking to a foreigner on the other end of the phone who can't understand what you're saying. Just for them to say, like, you've given us incorrect details. We can't verify you, unfortunately, or something like that. Because it was like the Gmail account that I remember with the PlayStation account. So essentially, the email I was originally using, I got hacked, and like, money went out of my PlayStation wallet, and someone had bought the Spotify Premium on my account. And at the time, it was my nan had put her bank card on it. So every month there was something for PlayStation coming out, and we didn't know what it was. And then we realised what it was, and that we'd got hacked. So we changed the email address, and we changed it to my dad's. And it was my dad's for ages. And then I just thought one day, do you know what? Like, I don't want it to be associated with my dad's email anymore, because it's quite annoying. Like, every time they send something to the email, I had to go, Dad, the PlayStation sent you something. Can you send me the verification code, kind of thing. And then it was just getting annoying. So in the end, I just changed it to an email address. But at the time, I'd already made like a spare account on my actual email that I use when I got banned once. I'd got banned or something. I can't remember what for, but something went against the terms and conditions, so I got banned. So, when you get banned and you're like, oh, I'll just make a spare account just for a couple of days while I'm banned, just so I can still come online and go in party chat, etc. I just made a spare Google account, just primarily um, for the PSN account, to change the email. And then it wasn't long after that where I kind of like stopped playing it. So I kind of just, like, at the end, just kind of like got rid of the PlayStation and stuff, and never really, at the time, I thought that's it. So now, like, I just don't remember the details, and I just, like, I can't get on it. So it's like a proper pain, because I'd love to just get on it, and like, play the games I've got, like, online again. But sadly I can't. Like, the GTA Online, I got to like quite a high level on it, and then like the Minecraft maps and stuff. I spent years building on them, and now I can't like go online with them, and people can't help me build on them anymore. So it really kind of like um, sort of like annoys me. So I don't really go on it all that often. My other account has online, and I can get online with that other account. It's like a spare account, but just all the like online and all the like game saves and stuff, they're not like for online, they're not like they are on my old account that I can't get online with. So when I go on, I sometimes just go on Grand Theft Auto and mess about on story mode, like offline on the account I can't get online with, because the story mode's completed, and then if I go on Minecraft, like all the maps of I've got all that them stuff that I built, and I just I work on a couple of little things, sort of like that. But in all fairness, I'm DJing, I'm producing music, so I don't really, the PlayStation's just kind of like there, because sometimes you don't always wanna like start producing music when you get in. Sometimes you just want to like chill out, and sometimes it's good just to put a video game on and chill out. So that's kind of why I got it back, just so it was there. It was the option. Like, do you know what? I wanna just chill out and play Grand Theft Auto tonight. Um, but I don't sit on them all the time like I used to do, because I grew out of that. I got to a point where like I can really start pushing my music, or I can just sit and play video games all day. And at the time, I lived at my nan's, and the shed at my nan's house, it was kind of done out into a little music studio. So what I decided to do was every night after tea, I decided, rather than going upstairs and going on the PlayStation, I would go out to the music to the shed, what was like the music studio, and then I'd spend like a couple of hours like in there, and do like music things instead, and like start pushing myself music wise. And I never looked back. It really helped me. So and then when I did that, I just started like growing out of the PlayStation, and then I sold it, and never really looked back. But like I say, I just got it back just like for odd times, like if I get a bit bored, yeah, I'll just sit and play a game. So anyway, I'm gonna cut from the stream. Big shout to Katie Lee. Big respect to you. The phone is going to probably die any minute now. So um, make sure to like, comment, share. I'm gonna just sort out a little bit of packing. And we'll see you soon.